Hey, turn it on.
There's some things that can access, and there's some stuff that I can get what you have.
They cheat all the time on here.
That's it, yeah. That's it. You can do that.
I can get it.
What is it like? Is it four?
No.
Yeah. Sess.
Did you unlock it?
I thought I did.
Oh, cause I thought I just heard the door.
Yeah, so when you came in, they turned around, went back out.
Oh, okay.
Finally getting ready.
I think I have. Good. Want to go check it?
No volume. Zero volume still.
No sound. No sound.
We have 0 sound.
What? No sound.
No one can hear you speaking.
No sound.
The decision, and this is the way, what we're going, how we're going to change this ordinance. If they approve it, it goes to the county planning commission, who then has to go over there, and then they approve it. And make changes if they think it needs it, and then.
Can you give an example of one ordinance that isn't correct? Because again, I haven't seen one in 4 or 5 months.
There's a gentleman from Bauman that got a cease and desist for building fences. He was told to stop because he didn't pull a permit. That's his property. Who is he hurting by putting a fence up there? He's probably keeping his animals from running out on the road. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely, but there's rules and guidelines you have to follow.
No, but.
Absolutely there
It's
is.
called the Constitution.
So which ones are we supposed to follow and which ones are we not supposed to follow?
Only the ones he wants you
Violates
to.
people's Inherent right to
That's it.
property you can.
And so how are we supposed to, we're supposed to take all the statutes of the state and all the ordinances and go, oh, I'm gonna do this one, not doing that one, or I'm gonna do this one, not doing that one. How do you pick and
To
choose?
address the grievance, and the people come to you and they say, hey, I have this
How
problem.
many people? One person? Or a majority of the people?
No, that's called democracy, and that's mob rule. If a person comes to you and says, hey, I'm trying to build a fence on my property, Tracy stopped and cited me, he has a legitimate grievance, and you can look and at the Constitution and say, oh yeah, you have a right to property, you're not hurting your neighbor, we have no business here. Does that make sense?
No.
Why does that
I
make
think that
sense?
is a really broad brush that opens up way too many cans of worms and will cause problems. Like the current problems we have with people that ran for the board that didn't make it, that had issues that 4 of the 5 board members voted yes for, that still continues to be a problem because it didn't meet the rules and guidelines of the board, of the township ordinances, of the safety of the residents of people that would go to the establishment. So yes, there are certain things that have to be put in place for people's safety, welfare, everything.
That's why you redress the grievance.
Redress it, but you would go on and on and on forever for
That's your
that.
job.
There is a mission.
Not me. Everybody, you would get nothing done. There has to be rules and guidelines.
So if you can't get any, if you're claiming you can't get anything done, then doesn't that indicate that maybe you've got too many rules?
I can get all kinds of stuff done.
Safety-
If you're coming in to
safety
tell me that
issues.
you wanna put a 7-foot fence around your house and make it look like a compound, that doesn't fit the rules and established guidelines that this township set whenever the ordinances came out.
So
Now, if that doesn't fit for what you wanted, maybe this wasn't the township for you. Maybe you should have moved way out up north someplace where they don't have rules and
or
guidelines.
maybe we'll get a board that will take instruction.
There is also.
Or maybe that board will get thrown in jail for doing stuff
How will you
that they
get thrown in
shouldn't do.
jail for following the constitution?
They're gonna find out.
This is where Angie got.
Good luck.
Can I ask a question?
Absolutely.
So a few years back, we wanted to build a garage, a small garage, and not like in the front of our yard, because we have a long front yard, which would not have really affected the people across the street. I mean, they got folks all over in their yard anyway. And we were told that we couldn't build it because it was not in the back of the house. And I'm trying to figure out, like, why would that be such a bad thing, you know, to have the.
It's when the planning commission voted on it, the way they have the setbacks and everything set. That's what was
I mean,
voted.
it wouldn't
If it's
have
an
been
issue,
eyesore.
come to the planning commission meeting, the first Tuesday of every month. Sit down with them, bring it up, and let them hash it out. Instead, we come here where we don't have any say in it.
But you do, you're the
Wrong board.
legislative, you're the legislative
Wrong board.
officers.
Wrong board.
Well, you're
Is
not,
the
you're,
planning.
The planning, you're not
ever
allowed
voted
planning
in?
commission is not elected either.
No,
We elected you guys.
Did they take an oath
yes, they do. Don't they?
and they're bonded? No, they're not.
I'm not bonded.
See, even you don't know.
See, they're
I'm not
acting as-
bonded.
They're acting in their.
What do I have to be bonded
Did you
for?
take an oath?
I don't know. It's got nothing to do with being
Were
bonded.
you elected?
I was elected.
So you're held accountable to the people. The planning commission
And
is not.
You can do,
In fact, the planning commission,
Okay.
you have delegated your power to them.
kind of.
Yeah,
You can't delegate.
So here,
everything.
go do whatever you want on your property, right? If you want pigs in your yard and your neighbor hates pigs, oh well, now you can have pigs. It is a totally ridiculous argument. You have to have some type of rules and guidelines. Otherwise, it's the Wild West.
Do you believe that the constitution is the law of the land?
Can I say?
I'm not answering your question because you keep asking the same thing.
Can I
over and
just
over.
Can I get you answered on record?
Michael, can I say something?
Yeah.
There is a Michigan building code. A book like an encyclopedia that the building official has to follow. There are rules in there that
But that
are,
doesn't follow. See, that's the problem. It doesn't follow the Constitution.
but those are the rules. And the thing
We're
about.
gonna
the
go back to a
fence in front of
6-page
the yard-
document and then try to figure out how to make everything work.
Fence in front of the yard, that was originally decided on, because think about it. That is a line of vision issue when you're on a road.
On intersections, yes, I agree with that.
But people pulling out of the driveway. I say that when I get to a corner and there's trees. That's a line of sight issue. You gotta think about not just yourself, but your whole community.
Are you talking about the garage I was talking about?
Oh, no.
Oh, okay, so I was
No,
gonna
I'm
say
talking
that.
about the fence. I'm talking about the fence.
There's a specific reason people like to move to Columbus Township. And it's not because it is the Wild West and you can put, you know, I don't know, a 40-by-40 barn in front of your house to totally upset
Or a
the,
garage. 'cause it's
or a garage
Yeah.
that upsets the
Garage.
look of the community, right? It looks better visually,
You know, where's
depending
that-
on where, I don't know yours, but right, let's say.
You'd have to see it,
Right.
it would not have been.
But that's something that possibly you could have got a ZBA variance on. There's things you can do to get around it if it doesn't fit for your guideline.
$500. Angie, to your point about the building codes, the government is allowed to regulate commerce, and that's what they're doing is regulate commercial activity when people build houses. Once they walk away from it and you stamp off on it, it's private property at that point. Private, there's a difference.
Well,
between
I don't
what's in
think we're
private
ever
and
going to
what's
come to any agreement, and I think we're just dragging this out.
Okay.
Brett is
I will-
absolutely
I will
right.
be
The
quiet
planning
right now.
commission makes the ordinances.
Are you a legislative officer in this township?
Okay, we're beating this to death. We've talked about this for 4 straight months.
So what are you saying is the resolution? You obviously have something in your head that is the answer. Just say it.
Trying to get you guys to understand that you have legislative authority that you cannot delegate to a board. You cannot delegate it. We delegated that power.
But we have legislative authority, but we have to follow the Constitution and the state laws of Michigan. And we're a zone community and we follow those ordinances. And we don't know how to pick and choose which ones to follow. So what are you saying that you want? I don't understand what you want. I really don't get what you're talking
Follow the
about.
Constitution, because when you don't follow the Constitution and you violate the people's property rights, in the instance of.
He wants you to eliminate the ordinances. Eliminate the ordinances and then you said.
This,
Yeah.
just out of, because I'm kind of lost at what, but I know in the Michigan Constitution, it also says we shouldn't be paying property taxes
Correct.
on our property, but we all still do. So, because they make us or they come and take your property. So what is your, I mean, if your comment is, or your feelings are that we should uphold all of the Constitution, how do you pick which ones that we uphold and which ones we don't?
We start with one and then we figure that one out and then we move to the next one. You're right.
Come here, I think the best solution for this ever is December, whenever that first meeting is. That board is gonna have a great time with it. They're gonna have a great time with it, right? Brand new people, all new board, bring it up to them, run it down the road.
I mean, if,
You referencing an establishment and the zoning ordinance that establishment wasn't following, was that ordinance written 4 months after that establishment opened, and then was this board?
Oh, no, that was written after the fact, because.
The agribusiness one?
No, the agribusiness one was modified. Because it was not exactly what was pitched, presented during the meeting here. And I was the only person that voted no. And I didn't vote no because of I thought it was a great idea. I think it's awesome. I voted no because it doesn't fit the guidelines of the ordinances in a residential area. It doesn't fit. It doesn't make any sense.
50-mile-an-hour speed limit. I hear you, but the response you got in regards to that ordinance was pretty pointed in regards to where the Constitution sits and where there we go. Many different laws set. I mean, did you guys make any adjustments after you got that response, or you just leave it on books?
I don't know what he's saying.
Yeah, I
You
don't-
you got a really nice letter from Canfield Miller in response to your letter that was sent. Did you guys read it?
Yeah, we read it. That's a couple of years ago, though. I couldn't tell you what it said. It's been a couple of years.
I'll send you I'll bring another copy to you and you can read it again, and then you want to cross-reference that ordinance, that zoning ordinance. Number one, you can't create an ordinance after a business opens and then expect them to comply. That's not.
Correct.
That's not how it works.
And
We're
that,
going down that road.
well, that's not what
You- you
happened
made the
anyhow.
accusation. We're going down that road.
Well, okay, we can't.
I'm
Has
just.
the deck been signed off on?
It passed.
The
inspection.
final permit sign off,
It did, it passed.
the
inspection.
deck signed off?
For
I
electric?
had it. My attorneys had it.
For electric?
Electrical?
No, not for
You
electric.
guys refused to come do the electrical.
I-
You told me that your attorneys, told the electrical inspector not to come because you guys were holding it up. You wanna get into this?
Taking instruction from attorneys, not the people.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
We asked, I have the letter from my electrician where we were asked for the final inspection. Bob Osterman was on a
So,
skiing trip after.
The roadside stand that was a 3-sided building.
I
It
made
was
it
going
clear-
to only offer samples
No,
and then sales. Oh, no, that's
No, no.
on recording and
No,
it's
no.
on the drive.
we can pull the recordings. and
Good
you're
luck,
wrong.
'cause you'll
And
go
if
down
you're
in
wrong, I
flames.
expect you to resign, okay?
Oh, I would do it
Here's
instantaneously.
the deal.
Instantaneously.
We were allowed for this establishment to open under the roadside stand provision. I made it clear at the zoning board.
Three-sided, no
I made
deck,
it clear, no, we
no
did not say it was a
electrical.
roadside stand, we said. it was a
limited
three-sided.
number of people.
I'll send
You said
everybody
you would
copies
meet
of the letter.
any guidelines.
I said it
Township came up with.
I
Hmm?
never said it
Yeah.
was roadside stand out here. No, that's how we cleared it. I have the freaking meeting minutes.
No, I
How
do
about,
too.
how about watch the video, because it's a video of it.
Oh,
Don't even start, Robert, please.
So what are you gonna do if there's a video that says it's a 3-side roadside stand?
I have the meeting minutes.
I don't care about the minute, I'm talking about the video with what came out of your
An
mouth.
establishment has not been following.
Because
zoning
you
ordinance.
flat out lied
That
in that
pertains
meeting that
after
caused
the
4 people to vote
establishment
yes.
You can't do that.
Okay. How about stick to your rules? You said you would do anything the township says to keep the township happy. So there wasn't problems with your neighbors, there wasn't problems with
I didn't
anything.
allow inspections. I wouldn't allow my stuff to be bullied.
There wasn't anything about being bullied.
I'm gonna send you a
Built
copy of the letter. from
on Cosmo Hall
And this
compared
time
to a
read it.
roadside stand.
I'm gonna send you a copy of the letter and then read it.
I don't need to read it.
You're gonna need
Watch
to
the
read it.
video.
You're gonna need to read it.
Good luck. No. Any more comments?
Moving on.
Thank you.
Communications. Township attorney, Downey resigned because he was having, family issues that he needed to shrink down his business. He apologized that he was sorry, that he thought he could take on the extra business and he couldn't. With that, I have another attorney, that we could interview and talk to. Steve Kustra. Could you come up and talk for a minute?
Thank you.
Excuse me, could you spell your last name?
KUSTRA.
That may be in my desk.
Yep.
Thank you.
My name is Steve Kustra. As you'll see from what I passed out, which is a curriculum vitae. I have quite a bit of experience in municipal law. In fact, I believe I have some experience with Mr. Joe Infante from the gentleman's lawyer from Miller Campfield. I used to work at Miller Campfield as an associate from 2018 to 2021. I have currently owned and principal of Kustra and Bloom PLC, which is my law firm. I'm a resident of Columbus Township, live over on Meskill Road. Haven't been here for very long in the township, but I have spent most of my decades-long career doing government law, municipal law, as well as other litigation. I find myself in many respects on both sides of the aisle when it comes to this type of thing. And I think that's a quality. Currently, as part of my background, I'm currently in litigation against the Township of Comstock for certain ordinance violations or issues that were there. And at the same time, I'm also in support of other efforts with other townships. So I think I bring a balanced approach, would bring a balanced approach as township attorney to understanding how ordinances work along with people's constitutional needs and also statutory needs as well, to advise the board as best as I can with that. By way of background, prior to my time as a lawyer, I served in the Army. I'm combat wounded and medically discharged, medically retired Army veteran, Purple Heart recipient. And as a proud of that, I've tried to strive to spend my other time working and helping veterans and getting their benefits as well through the VA. Otherwise than that, I'm a graduate of I have 2 JDs, one from the University of Windsor and one for the University of Detroit Mercy on a dual JD program. And I have my background in political science and philosophy. I'm also a member of the Small Farm Michigan State Farm Council and the Michigan State Bar Agricultural Law section. I'm a councilman on that council. Otherwise than that, I have 8 kids and trying to start homesteading over here. That's kind of my new latest
And
thing.
you thought you had a lot.
Yeah.
So, if you have any questions, I would greatly love to continue public services I had done in my past, and would love to serve the town. So if you have any questions, I'd be more than happy to answer.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any questions? I'd like to make a motion that we hire Steve Kustra as a township attorney.
Say the people.
Let's say the people.
We just spoke.
Dudek,
Yes.
Christie, yes. Keelman?
Yes.
And Berenger,
Yes.
motion carried. If you'd like to take a seat at the board and begin right now, that would be fine with me. Approval of the agenda.
You wanna sit here?
I'll
He was quick ready.
take a.
You expect this, didn't you?
Tonight might not have been tonight.
So Bruce, are you taking instruction from him now? Do I direct my questions to him, that the way this goes? What is Article 1, Section 3 say? It says that you'll take, that Article 1, Section 1, all political powers inherent to the people. Article 1, Section 3 says the people have a right. Or you read the verbatim, just so you understand. I think this is where we got off on the wrong track. Article 1, Section 3. People have the right to peaceably assemble, to consult for the common good, to instruct their representatives, and to petition the government for redress of grievance.
Okay, so what are you saying? You're telling me not to hire an attorney?
I'm asking you if you're gonna take instruction from him, or if you're gonna take instruction from the people, because we just asked.
But we're a representative government, so why don't you all?
That's a democracy, Bruce. We are a constitutional republic, and we are participating in government right now. That's what we're supposed to do, by the Constitution.
I'm not a constitutional scholar. I can't argue with you on that.
You want a whole box of. You should.
Gonna take advice from him, I know that.
Anything else in the approve the agenda?
And if he advises you against my rights, are you gonna take that advice?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as submitted.
I'll support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Carried. I'm very happy I only have 3 more months left.
Sorry.
I'll bet you are. Be interesting to see how things don't change.
I'm disappointed because I always thought better of the residents, that they would treat each other kindly. And you make we disagree within our office, we've disagreed
All
for
the time.
years.
But now we're getting treated like criminals.
We come to terms that we can't always agree. And to be vicious and spiteful and say these horrible things to somebody's face, that's uncalled
You
for.
can't
It
disagree
really
with the
truly
fundamental
is.
law, though. That's the thing, that's all I'm asking.
No, you're trying to rile everybody up. And I'm sorry, I know what you're trying to do, and you say it so wonderfully, that you think that we don't see that. I just feel like you could be a little more adult. This backbiting, yelling, screaming accomplishes nothing. We've learned the hard way, haven't we, Brent?
Absolutely.
Apparently, you didn't learn, because you want to talk about being an adult, that's not going to Facebook and slandering.
Again, we didn't, I didn't.
Somebody on that board did.
But what Facebook page was it? Cause there is multiple ones that anybody can put something on. There's 3 Columbus Township Facebook pages. Great.
I find it quite odd that it happened here at this meeting and immediately was on the Facebook.
What happened?
Oh, wait,
Some of us are on how many
Meetings.
Well, I usually do come to the meetings, but I get sick of sitting here until midnight.
Okay. I'm gonna make a motion to approve the minutes from.
Oh, wait,
Oh,
no,
wait, you didn't take the vote? You did?
no, there's a problem with the minutes.
Oh, okay.
On D, ditching bids. You got to replace the 6 culverts at a cost of $28, it looks like. Am I right or wrong, or what's up with that?
Sorry.
Okay, now I'm okay.
Okay. So I'll make a motion to approve the minutes with the one correction.
Yeah.
I'll support.
So it's supposed to be 2,800?
28,000.
28,000,
I
okay.
put 2,800 stand.
Okay, with correction.
Was that for the culvert on Cog Hill?
It is
No, this was for,
in Arlington,
Arlington, a big.
yeah. And Carroll Road.
That one's pertaining to Carroll Road.
Carroll Road on the south side of the road.
For the ditching and the culvert.
If they just. That up.
The Cog Hill one was
Oh, I thought you
it
said-
was a local road funding thing.
Did you hear that? The one on Colgan was a local road funding one. That was split with the county.
All right. I live just down the road from that.
Yep.
That culvert was replaced with a lot bigger culvert. Where do you think, and the rest of this board, think that water's going?
That's,
You live right next to it, right?
oh yeah, that's the one that comes down,
Yeah,
the drain, right?
yep, you're draining 12, 14, 16 square miles to my house. It floods me out every time. Why are you keep doing this?
It's the county drain commission, it's not us. That's a
You paid
county
for it.
drain.
Did this township pay for that?
We have to pay part of it,
Well,
because it's our drain.
then
it's our
you're part of the problem.
Right.
I'm getting flooded out every time it
Oh, yeah.
rains. This time, it was over my driveway. You know how many 5 inches of rain over 12 square miles? Do you know how much that equals?
A lot.
1,054,000,000
It's
gallons
the most I've
in a day.
ever seen in our.
My culvert is flowing backwards. I asked Angie a couple times to come out and look at this crap.
And I-
Nope, you didn't wanna come out and see it.
I was getting ready for
Angie,
the
I'm
election.
talking.
I did say that I'm sorry, I'm getting ready for the election. I had an issue with my deputy. We were trying to resolve.
I'm tired of
And
getting
that's
flooded
the
out.
drain
I
commission.
was talking first.
Okay. Sorry.
Thank you. I'm
Okay, then
tired
I'll
of
jump
getting
in.
flooded out.
I'll
And
jump in
now
on
you're
this one.
putting
Hey,
a bigger culvert in to drain more water, to flood my ass out. It ain't happening, okay?
first of all,
I'm gonna
watch your
do
language.
what I have to do
Secondly,
to protect my
call
property.
the county. The county can help you better than the
Does
township.
everybody understand that? Good. Watch and see.
Watch your language and call the county to help out
Going
also.
on For 35 years, and it's only getting worse. The more you dig, the more ditches you dig, time out,
I don't.
I'm not done yet. The more drainage you dig, the faster the water flows to my house. It's flooding out 5 neighbors,
So
the worst ever.
when you call the complaint and you get the county drain commission, and what is 3 people, Bruce, 5? What's the rule?
Oh, I've talked to Bob.
Yeah.
You know what he told me?
Oh, to get it
Take
cleaned
up a
out,
collection.
3 people.
Oh, no. 3 people.
Three
make
people
complaint,
sign a
not
petition,
3,
they'll do it.
And they'll come claim it, then they just add it to your taxes.
Do you know how much, do you realize how much that would cost?
Oh,
That creek, Schweiger Drain crosses Cog Hill, crosses Whitby, Cog Hill, Crawford,
Ballman.
Kendall, 3 times. It crosses Kendall 3 times. It crosses Hessen. Do you know how much that's gonna cost?
Oh.
How much is a man hour
I know.
and machine?
I
We don't have enough money to clean it out.
Corner of Crawford and Ballman, when they did all that, because that grabs it from here, and then it crosses and hits the Scribner back behind me.
Crawford and Ballman.
Right
Okay,
here.
that field was drain tile. How many acres?
Both sides,
300 acres?
both
I
sides.
don't want their
drain
water.
Oh,
Drain it to Bell River.
I know.
It's closer.
It's the lay of the land, because I called them and I.
The lay of the land. Yeah, and I'm the lowest. I don't want your water.
I know. It
I don't
goes
want
past me,
anybody's
too.
water. You don't want mine. Why
I
are you
know.
dumping it on me?
I know, I fought it with him when he did that, because it floods Crawford out. When it rains hard, it washes the whole top of the road off, because the culvert they have there.
You know, and then I came a month ago to complain to Angie when we had that rain. I got an answer from somebody in this room. Oh, we're worried about pollution. Yeah, you know who I'm talking about. Pollution what? From Tony's farm field? From the roads? Whether it goes to my house or the Bell River. It's pollution. I don't want anybody's water, and I'm gonna make it stop. Okay,
No, I'm good with it. I wish somebody would.
okay,
I'm totally against the drain commission. It's awful. And everybody thinks that we're the bad guy. Good luck dealing with them. They're.
well, I've talked to the road boss 3 times in the last 2 days. About,
Oh, that's the road commission guy, right?
Clint.
Yeah. He's the best one we've had,
But
I know.
it's not the drain commission.
not the drain.
I like the last one because he dug out my ditches for free, no money on the township. About 20 years ago, and he told me, Jerry, zip it, don't rub it in. I'm rubbing it in, okay? Because township for 30 years wouldn't do nothing about it. I ragged enough. He finally had enough of me. He says, I'll do it for free. And he did it.
Like, yeah.
But now when you get these massive rains, it floods me out. It costs me hundreds of dollars every time this happens. And it happens more than once a year.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, like.
You think I'm hot? Wait, Brett.
How much money did we send to the drain commission, just out of curiosity? Did we know that off the top of their head?
Whatever they charge us.
How much money we send to the drain commission?
They
Send it the rate.
they assess it different every year.
Money goes-
Well, the treasurer's not here.
If the legislature moved the purse strings, we didn't say, look, if you don't fix the man's problem, we're not gonna give you any more money.
Oh, they'll fix it. They'll just tag every resident
Yeah.
that drains to it.
Anybody that's in close proximity of the Scribner drain,
And then
we'll pay for
And
it.
then they'll come dig them like they have up. What that is up off Imlay City where you get far north, up in the thumb. And those drains are 20, 30 feet deep. That's what they'll push for. He's already pushing for it. Unfortunately.
I wouldn't even wanna know what the assessment would be to have.
Well, the problem is you can't get enough.
It'd be
drainage
in the
to get
millions.
Enough to get to the river.
It's hard enough to
Right.
pay
You
school
can't-
millages.
You can't clean out that drain. It snakes for miles. It's just not a straight shot a half a mile.
I don't.
A half a mile is 3 miles going through the woods, okay? I don't want to be paying a chainsaw guy, an excavator, whatever, ditchers. You can't even get into that property.
I don't. I wouldn't.
But you can't continue to keep dumping water
More.
where it won't go. I don't know what's so hard about it. I've talked to Clint, the road boss, many years, many times about it. And he just says, I'm doing my job. You know where I'm coming from?
I do.
You see that water, I've seen your kids playing in that creek.
Absolutely. Kayaking down it.
Yep,
Yeah, I cleaned mine out. I didn't want them to come do it, so I went in and did it.
All right, approval of minutes, Berenger, Keelman with corrections to approve. Christie, yes. Dudek,
Yes,
Berenger
I'm staying.
from the minutes?
More than him, I see.
Oh, okay. Keelman,
Yes.
carried. Treasurer report. If there's no questions, I'll take a motion to file.
I'll file, make a motion to file.
Second,
I'll support.
Dudek,
Yes,
Berenger.
Yeah.
Christie, yes. Keelman,
Yes.
carried. Check register. I looked through it. I didn't see any issues.
Let's approve the check register, and then I have two things I need to correct.
I'll make that motion to approve Check register is submitted for.
So what are the check numbers and such?
4724, 4789. And the EFTs. 113 through 116. For a total of 115, 343, 28 cents.
Gilman,
Yes.
Christie, yes, Berenger.
Yeah.
Dudek,
Yes.
carried.
Okay, I got two things, but I always come, get an okay from you guys, is first meeting, and this will be next month. I haven't gotten the final paperwork or the check right when I got here. It'll be the beginning of September. When we're looking up to the meeting. Going,
To have lunch, you mean?
yeah. Well, you don't have a choice. You can go to the meeting, you have to pay this.
Motion,
Pardon?
it's like
I thought
20
you guys
bucks.
gonna approve me.
Huh?
Yeah, I'll make a motion for it. Motion to approve. Missed the
Is there a
$20.
second?
I'll support.
Christie, yes, Berenger,
Yes.
Gilman,
Yes.
Dudek,
Yes.
carried.
And the second one is, I did a little bit of research, I'm pretty swamped with the election, but this invoice. Kind of an invoice, and I forgot to make you guys copy, because I thought I was gonna get more. Tim Kelly went to his seminars that he does for his training. And he brought the bills to me. And I made him get a couple of receipts, which he did. And I checked his mileage. My issue with this is, he said, every time he does this, this was our year to pay the bill. This is how he said it to me exactly. And he said, I take turns with all the townships I work for, and every year somebody else pays it. The problem is, I paid this in 22. I paid on August 1st and September 7th. I paid him $1,260. Now he's submitted these, and it's only 2 years later. So I've been calling around to different townships. He works for Riley, he works for Wales. Can't find anybody else. But even if so, if that was the case, he said COVID messed things up, which of course everybody uses that excuse for stuff. I'm not sure what you guys want to do. I don't know if you want to approve me paying this and then maybe not pay it in the future, because Bob Osterman never turns anything in. And I don't know if that's the case. We need to let him know that this, either we're paying it or he's gonna have to spread it out amongst the three of us. I don't know what direction you want to go. I just feel like Riley Township and Wales have never paid him. I called and talked to both of the clerks, and they've never paid him anything for the seminars.
Somebody's gonna ask him.
Hmm?
Somebody needs to ask him.
Yeah, and he was on my phone. He called after hours today to see what was going on with this.
Well, why do we pay his and not anybody else?
Because he's the only one that submitted it. Well, Tracy
I
wouldn't,
guess, why would we?
yeah, Tracy wouldn't, because he's a contractor, so he has to, he could break that off. I could work directly. I don't know what to do. I honestly don't.
Well, he said COVID was the excuse. Wouldn't that put that off, and the other two townships should be flipping the bill this year?
But like I said,
But if they never pay.
I called the clerks at both of those townships, and then I went online and looked up a bunch of townships to see who their heating and cooling and mechanical was. I found these two. I couldn't find anybody else, but a lot of them don't say the specific name. So I specifically called them, asked them if they paid him, and if they do, how. they have nothing.
I think you need to get a list of who he represents, and then we can contact him and see who's on.
You want me to- you want me to- You want me to call him back and we'll bring it back next month?
Yeah.
Okay. That works for me.
Hey. No ordinance report, no assessor report. The next thing is the information on the columbariums. I was asked for information on different ones. I got plenty of information here. You wanna look at it? You wanna move on? I don't care, whatever you wanna do.
What is that?
It's where you put cremated remains. Or-
My feeling is if we're gonna do this, which I think it's a good idea, we need to find a large one, because we're gonna maybe do it once and then figure out where we're gonna place it, but like we talked about last month. We will have to get Dan out there and kind of,
Make a spot
map
for
out,
it,
the-
right?
map out that whole section, because once we get it set up, we wanna make sure. Were you thinking like closer to where that shed was, or at the other, I don't think we wanna go down to Hessen.
It don't matter to me.
How many burial spots are left in the old part?
Maybe 100.
But they're all mapped out.
They're all
That's
mapped out.
mapped out, not the old section, that one new section that's up by the roadhouse. Maybe not even 100, but you know, there's still a lot there, still a lot. If we go in streets, most of the people are doing cremations are doing them on top of some other family member.
Right.
So I'm not, we're not selling that many graves. But I think Bruce is right, I mean, that's the way to go. You said they told you 40% are cremations, I say way more than this.
It's probably 85%.
That's what I say, 85 are cremations. Because the last 3, I think, were all cremations
Yeah.
that we had. But I think if we're gonna do it, we get a large one so that we can accommodate it, and then we have to figure out what's the cost. There's so many to choose from.
Yeah, I think you'd be ahead to make them, my own personal opinion, that one.
This one,
The line, yeah,
in figure 5,
a rectangle,
yeah, like 2 of them.
but you'd have
Is
to
that
map
the
that whole thing out, right?
one? Oh, you got a long line.
Yeah, how many people can be,
Well,
Very
this
loose.
one here says,
This is 248 niche ones.
yeah.
oh, wow.
So that's 96. Right there.
Well, I think if we're going to do it, I mean, like this one here has 84, we should go the largest, because once we fill that space and put that there, we don't have any. I mean, why put a small one and use up all that space? Mike, does one make those?
Do they make them? I don't believe so, but I'm
Okay.
sure if you contact Mike.
I can ask.
He can give you a connection as to, the purchasing, I'm sure.
You want me to try and find out a little bit more? I could call Mike. Now that the election's over, I have time to spend on something other than,
Sure, do you want a color one?
oh, yeah. I will,
Then you can make your calls.
yeah.
Oops,
Thanks.
Phoebe's not here anyhow.
Yeah, I'll call him. I'll get a little more information on this too. and
Okay.
Let you guys know.
All right, next is, we were talking earlier about migrating over to, .gov emails. I got, price from High Tech. This is a yearly cost. I know it says recurring $30, but it says right here at the top, annual price. And then this $30 recurring is monthly. So I looked into it. I'm sure there's other options. Or we can just let things ride how they are and let the new board deal with it.
That's my recommendation.
Doesn't matter, whatever you want to do.
I would look for this, I don't know. That way they can pick what it's gonna be. Need a motion for that?
Yeah, let's do that.
I'll make that motion.
to let incoming board.
So we'll keep what we have until then.
Yep, to make email decisions. Is there a second?
I'll support that.
Okay, Dudek,
Yes.
Keelman?
Yes.
Christie, yes. Berenger,
Yes.
new business 23-24 audit. Sure you all got your book.
That's the audit of the books.
The audit for the year, yep.
And who do you have still doing
King and King's doing it right now. We increased by $214,000. And I know there's been talk about how much money is in the rainy day fund, but when we have to repave Rattle Run Road or Palms Road, that'll be gone. But anyhow, if there's no questions, a motion to accept the audit would be required to file.
I'll make a motion to accept the audit. And pay the invoice.
And pay the invoice, I'm sorry. Okay, Christie, yes. Berenger,
Yes.
Gilman,
Yes.
Dudek,
Yes.
carried. Now also with that, they sent a new proposal. And I also got two other proposals from other auditors to be considered. So. I don't know where the invoice is.
You gave me the invoice.
I gave you the invoice? Any thoughts?
Well, personally, I'd like to stay with King because the first one is almost double what we're paying down. The other one is comparable when we're paying King. And still with new people. Maybe we want somebody who knows what's been happening around here. It'd be helpful if a question comes up. And the new treasurer has to call and say, hey, how do I do this or what happens here? I think it would be helpful.
Didn't we have Avers and Company submit one the last time?
No,
That wasn't, we didn't have them, I don't know, a couple years ago, we were talking about possibly getting rid of King.
I don't think we've ever had anybody else put a proposal for it.
Yeah, I thought it one
Yeah.
time.
Well, maybe, I don't remember.
Them, but I don't remember doing that.
If so, I don't
Yeah,
remember.
they're pretty high. And this other one, he just like, goes up every year.
I like that.
Well, I did read, and it was in our MTA news book that we get, that it's highly recommended that townships rotate auditors.
Do you think it's wise to rotate when we're getting new staff, when we're gonna be new elected officials? I mean, don't you wanna be able to call and say, hey, how did you do this before?
Well, I thought that's why we put the system there, so we didn't have to worry about it.
Why we did what?
Why we went to an all electronic system. BSNA.
I know we have BSNA and that does a lot of the work, but you also questions come up. I mean, I don't talk to them very often and.
I personally never loved King. Granted, I didn't deal with them. I didn't love when we had all the questions we had. That was about 2 years ago.
Well, where are they right now? They're not here explaining
They
this.
just all have that.
And they weren't here last year explaining it, and I feel like there's conflict of interest being of who was employed by them to currently carry them as the auditor for the current treasurer.
Did you call anybody on any of these groups?
I called them all. That's how I got them.
No, I mean like the townships that they're using.
Oh, no, I did not call the townships they're using. I mean, the CPA is a CPA is a CPA, basically, right? Is there such a thing as a good CPA?
Yes.
Yeah, like find a good lawyer.
Yeah. Well,
Um. I wish I remembered something to tell you there. I'll make a motion to move forward with Shay and Associates.
I'll support.
Her name?
Shay, SHEA, and Associates.
And they're out of where?
Yes, they were. Lorenzi, Michigan.
Is that?
Lorenzi.
Where's Lorenzi?
West side, 517.
So how much are they gonna charge?
Travel?
Yeah.
they only come once a year, right?
Come once a year in the this year, $750 cheaper. Because of that.
Hey, Dudek,
Yes.
Keelman,
Yes.
Berenger,
No.
Christie, yes. Carried. I'll sign this and send it to him.
Can I get a copy, please?
Sure. So next one is a resolution for pollinator project. This would be resolution 8/1/24. So this person wants a gaming license.
Well, I
To,
remember this was a long time coming.
well, because I've been waiting on a response from them.
Mhm.
I talked to the state about it and asked what they were after, and I was told to do my due diligence, which I, you know, talked to them about it, and then I sent this attorney a letter and asked him to send me who were the project managers and what their Michigan mission statement was. And if they had any bylaws, could they send me a copy of that? Could they tell me about the project? And I got no response. And so since the answer has to get there pretty soon, I figured I better bring it and decide.
So why are we involved? Because the guy running.
Because they have to have township approval or they will not issue him a gaming
Is-
license.
Oh, the gaming license is in the township?
No,
Why does it
he
say
can
me?
use it wherever he wants in the state of Michigan, I assume. From talking to this lady at the state, that's what it sounded like. But the guy that's applying for it lives in
That's why
Columbus
it's asked,
Township.
is because he
And-
Lives in the township, we have to approve it?
Yes,
Okay.
she said that you have to, if you want to approve this, you should know the guy, know that he's of good character and know what his project's about and know the people involved and all that. And I said, we know nothing. And she said, well, you better look into it. And I tried, but nobody ever responded. So
So you just want this on the books in case he comes back to us and asks for it?
well, I don't want him to say that we neglected it and
But I
didn't.
mean, he emailed me once too, but I never.
This was your email.
Oh, is there? Yeah, and, oh, yeah, so.
I called this guy on the phone too. And so, you know, whatever you guys think,
He's never, I didn't miss a meeting. He didn't come to the meeting and
never,
pitch anything or anything.
never.
No,
Well, this is from last April, this email that I.
Right.
Yeah.
And I've called this attorney and I've written to him. And I've got no response at all, so.
I'll make a motion to disapprove. But do we disapprove the
Yes.
resolution 8124?
Yes,
I'll make that. No idea who's running it, that's. completely-
I'll support that.
okay, Berenger,
What am I, if I vote yes, that
if
means.
you
I
vote yes, you're disapproving.
Yes.
Christie, yes, Dudek,
Yes,
Keelman,
Yes.
here. Carried. Last item up for bid. Local road funding for 2025. This is just a formality because there's ARPA money already been placed on account to pay for this. So
So we just have to, we just make a motion.
we make a motion that,
That the-
Local
Oh,
road system
are we
funding
just- are we in-
program. Right,
are we
excuse me,
just- Okay, let me, are we, or are we just approving this resolution?
we're approving this resolution.
it's for a culvert on Palms, right?
it's all of it.
No, it's one.
Oh, cause that's the one we.
It's,
The Palms Road culvert over to Holland Drain.
okay,
We really don't have any choice on culvert replacements because if they're failing, the road commission will just close the road if you don't fix them. I didn't want to argue with Jerry, but we don't have any say about them replacing culverts.
So can I ask, why do we have to use the road commission
Why do you have to use the road commission?
to do it when?
Because the
there's so
county,
much-
because the county created the road commission, that would be something that the Board of Commissioners would deal with. That they created the road commission to better get a bang for their buck by having a company that's always there, that takes care of all the roads in the county, better than everybody hiring their own guy to do it. And
they carry a lot of
you'd be
liability
you'd be
insurance too.
duplicating your efforts like that. So they were created by the county and they oversee them. They have all control over who works there and what they do and all that and their budget and all that. So basically they work for us, but they don't answer to us.
That's why I was asking why we haven't used them, because it seems like there was a lot of problems. getting stuff in it.
There was something that said we had to.
Yeah.
We do have to use them. If we do not use them, if we just decided to, we're just gonna keep the money and hire our own guy, then it has to be approved by the Board of Commissioners, and you have to have $1 million liability policy to cover that. And there's other requirements, because somebody's already asked me that question within the past month.
Yeah, cause
Oh,
I inquired several years ago about hiring private contractors to clean ditches. Thought we could get it done cheaper.
right.
It's a no-no.
It's the same
So
thing.
liability, because you will hire a private contractor and he nicks a fiber optic line or a phone line, it's millions of dollars.
Or-
It's on the contractor, because that's what I do for a living, we do, I build bridges. And that's on the contractor. If we nick a line, that's on us.
Yeah.
Because it's marked by mistake. And we have a 5 foot either side, if we nick it, it's on us, it's not on the township. Because that's,
No, it wouldn't be on the township. It would be on them.
well, that's what he's saying.
Well, but he's saying that if the people hired someone to dig their own thing, that could be some farmer with a backhoe.
We would need $1 million insurance policy then, right, if it's on the contract.
It's on the contractor, it's not, if I go in front of my house and dig my ditch out and tear the fiber optics out, that's on me. That's not on anybody else, that's on me,
Right.
because that's why mistake was put in place. And that's what we do, I mean. We had a gas main on Woodward and Cass, wasn't marked, wasn't our fault. We had a fiber optic, was marked, was our fault, $68,000 to fix it.
Yeah, it's not cheap.
And that money that you're saying you need is only in an escrow account. It's all there, the escrow account. Because once the project's done, you can have your money back.
Okay, well, I'm sure people are free to go through the county and do it however they want. But that's
You
just what
assume
they
the
told, that's
liability.
just what they told me the rules were. I mean, I'm not gonna go out and dig my own ditch.
We can't take taxpayer money and do it though.
No.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 8224. For the local roads and funding assistance program.
Christie, yes. Berenger. Gilman.
Yeah.
Dudek,
Yes.
motion carried. No other discussion? Motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn it.
I'll support.
Is that what you stand?
Yep.
All in favor? Aye, opposed? Carried.